For today's Comic Artist Spotlight, John Romita Sr. This time, we will take a look at one of the comic books that they've worked on, as I do an homage to one of his most famous covers. Let's begin. Here we have Amazing Spider-Man 39. This comic is from August 1966. This is a classic Spider-Man cover done by John Romita Sr. This is a classic cover in a Spider-Man collection. You got an unmasked Spider-Man hanging from the rope of the Green Goblin, who seems to have him trapped and parading him throughout the city. It's just a pretty awesome angle you got going on here with Spider-Man in the front, Green Goblin looking down at him menacingly, but overall awesome art. It's got great perspective. John Romita Sr. had a pretty clean style. I describe it almost like a detailed, realistic, cartoony style. Might be compared to more of the realistic stuff today. So here you got the first page. The Green Goblin is almost in the same pose as he is on the cover. It says, "How green was my goblin?" So you got a paper flying, showing you that what people are saying here, that Spider-Man's identity is still a mystery. So, but you got script here by Stan Lee, art by John Romita Sr., inks are by Mickey DeMeo, which is actually Mike Esposito. He used a couple different names, but here you got a pretty neat opening shot. Stanley loves to put his exposition here with almost like a circus presenter tease of what's going to happen to get you excited for the issue. And it's just a real fun issue to read, but got the John Romita Sr. art here. It's pretty awesome. Plain to see what's going on here. Got good shadows. Got the Green Goblin looking good. You got movement. The guy's hat's flowing in the wind as he's flying. The bag's flowing. Let's look at the rest here. So the Green Goblin's talking about how he's going to get his revenge on Spider-Man. And this, you can see him in the shadow here taking off his mask. It's kind of neat. He hangs it up, but you can't see his face because it's behind a computer. So it keeps you in the dark here. So he puts his mask back on. And he's just talking about how he's going to get Spider-Man. And it shows him getting ready with his bombs and his little glider. It's funny because he says the last time he was overconfident, but that won't happen again because now the outcome is a foregone conclusion. So he sounds overconfident again, which is funny. He says Spider-Man don't stand a chance. So it's funny. It was great stuff. So you got the classic 6-panel style. Close up here with the face. Everything's plain. You got little gadgets here and there. Some kind of workshop. In the next page, he's flying off here. And then here comes Spider-Man swooping in. Spider-Man saying he's got an allergy. And his nose is stuffy. The writing is excellent. I love how they really go into what Peter Parker is thinking all the time. There's a lot of thought balloons. And it just shows here how he swoops in. He's going to the doctor's office. And he goes into the maintenance closet from the window. And he talks his way out of it because the guy probably wonders how he got in there. And here you can even see thought balloons of the other characters too, which is this janitor guy. And another little touch, here it says, instead of I thought it was a waiting room, it says I thought id was a waiting room because his nose is stuffy. So it's kind of neat. So he goes by the receptionist, goes sees the doctor. Doctor checks him out. You know, great art here, showing the doctor's office. Pretty consistent with the characters. And then I also love how Spider-Man, he thinks about how he hid his spider suit, or the doctor would have saw it on his arm here. They're just very thorough in the writing. I like that. So the doctor gives him a simple solution here to get over his cold, but he also then wants to talk about Aunt May, says how she's might be close to death, and that to avoid sudden shocks to her while she heals. So it's a great shot of Peter with that realization here, but just the inking on this is excellent. Esposito did a great job. The art is awesome. Heavy blacks here and the light lines over here. Great face structure. Great expressions going on. Pete is thinking so much. He basically ignores everybody. And he has all this on his shoulders. And then you have what the nurse is thinking here. And she's thinking that he's so young and he has no worries and it must be nice. So it's kind of funny that that's added in there. So the next page here, Pete's thinking about Aunt May, of course, and just walks by everybody, ignores everybody, keeps on walking. And you have a group of friends here. One of them is Flash. That's his name. And he's thinking, I'm trying to be nice, but now Pete is ignoring me. And that's what the other people are thinking too. You know, then you have Norman Osborn dropping off Harry, his son. And he pretty coldly takes off saying, I'm paying a fortune to keep you in college, so get to it. So Harry's kind of down in the dumps, thinking to himself, and the same group of friends try to catch his attention, but can't catch his attention either, which is funny. But you just got great art here. Every panel is packed with detail, packed with people. You know where they are the whole time. You have bushes around. You know, here you even got a face of another student. So there's just plenty around. So you know where you are. You know, every panel's packed with little details. So here you have Pete striking up a conversation with Harry. And then Pete's a little surprised at how Harry is kind of acting nice towards him. Or he says he's almost acting like a human. So he tells him he has some trouble with his dad. And then, so Pete kind of relates to him. He says, I don't even know who my dad was. You know, then you got this young lady here in the Flash. They're kind of watching Peter, saying he seems like a pretty respectable guy. But it's kind of funny, because here in the middle, Stan Lee says, just to prove you're not reading Tom Brown's School Days, classes break, and finally we got some action. You know, and you get this small panel here with all these characters. Really good stuff. So, Spider-Man, he's swinging through the city, coming across. So, just great art here. Good stuff. Swinging in to see there's a robbery going on. And they're holding these people. They all have guns, which is kind of funny because when Spider-Man comes over here, they're just using their fists. And I'm not sure where the guns went. But it's got some pretty awesome action. You got your 6-panel layout here. And the whole time you're just hearing Spider-Man's thoughts. You're seeing all the banter from Spider-Man. And you see some great action going on here with different stuff going on. They try to capture him. And down here, and he throws them off easy. It's just great comic work. Even got some sound effects going on. Great character poses, all varied. So here you got a great big panel showing what's going on here. This guy's down. You got these people in the background. The lady with her kid. So Spider-Man starts losing his patience. Hits one against the screen. And then this guy finally brings out his firearms that they had at the beginning. And Spider-Man says that firearms are illegal up here. So I don't know what happened to the other firearms, but it's good Spider-Man action anyways. So he dodges him, webs him to the pole, then uses his web, and these guys are tripping. I think it's funny. Spider-Man talks about how the webbing is expensive. But all these guys are in motion all the time. Great poses, lots of stuff happening. It's just great art. So this panel here, now you get to hear more of what the crowd is saying. And they're finally getting out of there because Spider-Man got all the bad guys over here away from the elevator. So these guys keep on coming, and Spider-Man says, "I'm coming after you." So he knocks people over, and the guy thinks he's going to come in with a hit here. And what's neat is you have the whole time what Spider-Man's thinking, and that there's a weird reason why these guys are up here. So then Spider-Man hits this guy, knocks him out, but these guys keep coming at him with this thing that the Green Goblin gave him called the gimmick. So they hit Spider-Man with it, and here's a great shot of the city looking down here, showing what's going on in the balcony. And I guess Green Goblin paid them to use this gas on the Spider-Man. But it's an awesome shot here showing the Green Goblin on his little scooter with the city down below. All throughout this, every panel, these guys are in unique poses in the middle of getting up or falling down or getting hit. It's just awesome art. Hands flying everywhere. So here we have Spider-Man. He's wondering what that stuff was because it's not really affecting him that he can tell. So he just takes these guys down, takes a picture to sell to the paper, and then the cops show up and he takes off. But, awesome stuff here. Here's a neat shot with the cops coming in. You can plainly see what's going on with the art. There's no guessing where everyone is all the time. It's just great character work, good placement of characters, lots of action shots. So here, Spider-Man swings off. And then here he goes and gets his stuff in an alleyway. So the whole time he feels like someone's watching him, but his spidey sense doesn't go off. So he doesn't look, I guess. Here, great art. We got Spider-Man fully suited. Then you got him taking off the mask here. Then he's here tying his shoes. One thing I notice about him putting on a shirt here, John Romita Sr. does a great job on wrinkles in the clothing. It's excellent detail. This is really how the shirt would look, someone tucking it in their pants. The Green Goblin's got some wrinkles here, wrinkles on his socks, like they're hanging. Just great work. And back in the alley here, you got bars on the window. Great little details like that. Definitely looks like an alley, so you know where you are, even though you're in these little panels. He does great on the faces. So let's move on. So here's Peter walking. You can see what he's thinking, which is neat. You can see what most people are thinking in the book, which I really like that about this. The only thing about here, the city looks a little empty, and they're not seeing Green Goblin like flying behind him. But anyways, so here's Peter thinking back to 2 issues ago where his spidey sense was triggered and he went there in 2 seconds and someone was gone. So was that the Green Goblin? I don't know. But here is great. You can tell he's thinking in the past because of the borders of the panel, which is really neat. So Peter walks to the Daily Bugle where he goes to try to sell his pictures. The Green Goblin follows him there, watches what he's doing. Great art here. Even the little figures look great. So Peter's trying to walk by this guy, but he catches him. And I guess normally he's a bit mean to him, but now he's being nice too. So Peter's kind of wondering what's going on because people are here acting opposite. But great shots here of the other guy and Peter. So Peter goes try to peddle his pictures to J. Jonah Jameson. And Jameson's like, all right, I'll pay you next week. And Peter says, nope, you pay me now or I'm going to the Globe. So JJ acts like he's being ripped off and pays him right here, which is pretty funny. Pays him for the photos, but Peter's happy, so he continues to walk home. J. Jonah looks great here. Even got the cigar in the mouth, and then just in the bottom here, he got him holding it with the check. You know, he got the hand here. It's just neat, the little details everywhere. Here you got another pretty neat angle showing the whole story here, and shows Green Goblin got a little listening device, so he knows his name is Peter Parker now. So they're showing you all this in one panel. You know, it just really gets the job done. Now Peter's walking home, thinking about things, and the Green Goblin makes himself known. So this is a great shot coming in. You got trails of smoke. I will say that the outline of the house here is a little bit messed up because it should be behind the Green Goblin there. But, you know, figures are great. They're all planted. They're looking good. So here Peter is confronted that he's Spider-Man, and the Green Goblin knows it. So Peter is shocked, and he's desperate to make sure Aunt May doesn't hear this from inside, because the doctor said about her getting a shock could be fatal to her. A shock of any sort of news or whatever. So he's desperate to make sure she doesn't hear this from inside. Luckily, the Green Goblin blows smoke around, trying to choke Peter. So when Aunt May does hear some commotion, she looks outside and she sees nothing but black smoke. So I guess it worked out. But it's a good shot here. Also, of the interior of the house, you see little things here and there. You know exactly where you are. Great looking stuff. And then you go here back to the battle. Peter jumps up above the smoke, and he's thinking about what's going on here. And Green Goblin comes at him, and he's jumping out of the way. This is a great shot. Peter doing an acrobatic move. You got the Green Goblin coming in, taking a shot with his finger laser. Tree being zapped here. It's just a good looking panel. Next page shows Peter here on the ground after dodging the zap. But I just love this. You got the piece of the house here in the background. You got your grass. You got your bushes here. And you got a full figure of the Goblin, even though it's small. It's looking great. He's about to throw his little so-called missile. Kind of looks like a batarang, but it'd be a Goblin-arang, I guess. Pete said it's jet propelled, so the timing has to be perfect when he dodges. So he gets ready, he flips at the right moment. But poses look great. These figures all look great. And the folds of the clothing going on. And the only thing here is they could have colored the grass a little farther here. Looks like Pete's hanging on a cliff or something. Here you got the big shot. Peter jumping up towards the Green Goblin like he's going to grab him. And you got all the smoke around here. It's black down here, kind of fading off into gray. But once again, got a great back shot here of the Green Goblin kind of from the side. You get Peter leaping towards him. You know, you can tell he's angry. He really wants to get him because he's desperate not to let people know his identity. But this looks great. You got the Goblin hunched over. Arms look great. The hand here. You got his fist up in the air. So next page, the Green Goblin zaps him again. And just great looking shot here with the sound effects. You got the characters here, more closer up. Then here you go out, you got some medium shots of the characters. And Green Goblin throwing some sort of asphyxiation grenade where Peter can't breathe. So he's knocked out for a bit, and the Goblin says, I gotta tie him up quickly. I love how they tell you what they're thinking, and it explains a lot of the story where people might be thinking, oh, well, Pete will get out of that quick. Well, they already thought of that. Like, he realizes he has to get him quickly while he's knocked out. Here he's got him tied up. I love how everything is just presented in a dramatic fashion. But art is great here. You know, I love all the expressions, especially here with Pete struggling to breathe, looking good. You got the Goblin dragging him off to the waterfront here. Pete already came to, and here you got the 4 panels and the one down here. But you got Pete thinking again, and he's letting the reader know he just needs to buy a little bit of time so he can break free of the ropes. So here's the Goblin talking about stuff. You got a full shot here with his little chemistry set. So Peter gets him bragging, and then you get a shot of Peter here with the hand pointing. And we're having the reveal here. Green Goblin taking off the mask. And if they had another page to do this, it'd be neat. But this is it. So you go down here to the final panel, the big panel, where he reveals that he's Norman Osborn. Peter's obviously shocked because he knows Harry. And he says, it's Harry Osborn's father. But art here is great. I love the big pen work here as you get the head closer to the reader. And also you got the dark here within the folds. It's just great artwork by John Romita Sr. Up here at the reveal of the mask, you can really see it coming off with the wrinkles here. Everything's clear. It may not be super detailed, but it's as detailed as it needs to be. The art is just awesome. Credit goes to the inker also, Mike Esposito. So we're just going to leave it there for today. I decided to do a cover jam on this cover. So this is my take of it. I used it for reference and sketched in the characters. This was a really fun piece to do. Can't wait to do it again with some other classic iconic covers. But this is the final piece on the right. There's a link in the description below to my art page if you wish to view an HD version of it and others like it. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. That's a look at the awesome art of John Romita Sr. If you have a suggestion for an artist you'd like me to take a look at in the future, please leave a comment below and we'll check them out. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this, and we'll see you next time on the Comic Artist Spotlight.